Hey everyone, it's Sleepy here today. I'm going to show you this awesome Necro build. It's a super amazing build. I find it to be the best one out there right now. I've 3 crafted, I've went through a bunch of builds. I've used a minion build from 1 to 50. After that, I've used a sacrifice build because there is no other viable option. So let's just hop right in. So here we are with the helm. When you're not healthy, a magical bubble will be summoned around you. Whoever is standing in this bubble is immune for quite a while, a couple seconds. That's life or death. You know what I mean? It only happens once every 90 seconds, so it's not too bad. But you know what I mean? It's lengthy. It's a lengthy time. You got your red gem in it, and then but then for a backup, you have this one. So when you're damaging an elite enemy, it grants you a barrier, which absorbs tons of damage for 10 seconds. This can only happen every 30 seconds. So you bounce back between the two of these. You have a lot of barriers and bubbles. It helps. It's really well. You put some 2 red gems in those. Then you got your gloves here. I want to talk about this a little bit. So your sacrifice bonuses are increased by 24%. So we have that, and then we go over here and we have abilities. Then we have this. Mental Mori. Sacrificing both skeletal warriors and skeletal mages increases your sacrifice bonus by 60%. That's amazing. So that goes so well with this. So well. That's very, very good. That's 80% increase on your sacrifices. I'll go over the sacrifices after. So let's finish this. We got our 2 red gems in our pants here. And this is another barrier. Each time that the Bone Storm damages an enemy, you gain a barrier equal to a certain percent of your base life. That is beautiful. That's 3 barriers right there. You shouldn't have a problem staying alive. And then on top of that, we have our boots. So now what our boots does is gives us 2 max evade charges. So we have a total of 3. And on top of that, our critical strike grants us 8% movement speed, up to 6 seconds. That is, wow, we're going to be flying all over the map with barriers. It's wonderful to get away. It's good to engage. It's really, really good. This build, I'm telling you guys, you got to try it out. Okay, now we got our sword. Okay, this aspect is going to be one of our strongest aspects. We throw 2 gems in our sword, our green ones, because our critical strike damage to vulnerable enemies is increased by 12% per gem. Then we have this aspect imprinted where Bone Spear attacks, well, it makes attacks beyond the first vulnerable hit uh, stronger, and then our shard from the Bone Spear does bonus damage to vulnerable enemies. So just overall, it just makes our Bone Spear 10 times better, 10 times stronger. Um, then we got our necklace over here. This is a good aspect. I like it. It increases our armor for 4 seconds when you deal any form of damage, and it stacks, which is amazing. We throw some skull gems in there, which give us more armor, and I use skull gems in my necklace and my 2 rings. So this is where our essence regen comes in. So now we have critical strikes with bone skills increase your essence regeneration. That's amazing. That we need that. We need to keep our essence sustained as much as possible with this build because we're going to be using Bone Spear quite a bit. Uh, we restore 1 to 4 of our primary resource when we use a crowd control ability, which is going to be Corpse Tendril. So that's going to be a lot of our resource regen is when we use Corpse Explode with Corpse Tendril. That's going to be how we get our essence back and maintaining it. Later on, there's Paragon points too, where when we use Bone Spear, the amount of enemies we hit, we also regen essence as well. So that comes later, right? That's what I mean. Like this build, you're gonna be able to sustain it. You shouldn't have a problem with essence. Like I feel dry sometimes, but barely. So here we have our Skeletal Warrior Defender sacrificed. Remember I was talking about this one right here where sacrifice bonuses are increased. So you guys look over this, right? Like gain 19% non-physical resistance. Then we have our Skeleton Mage, you deal 19% increased damage to vulnerable enemies. That's amazing with our crit that stacks. Then we have this one, you deal 37% increased critical strike damage. Amazing. Think about all the bonuses right there that we got, especially with this. And then on top of that, we go to our abilities in this. You know what I mean? It's such a boost. This right here is a little bit of a waste. It increases damage reduction by 18%, reduced by 2% for each active minion, so we don't have any active minions, right? So, I mean, you don't need to put a full amount in there, but I like it because the damage reduction is still pretty good. You know what I mean? Even if we don't have any minions, it's still good, you know? But I mean, you could always go back and put corpse explosion in if you wanted to make it stronger. It just depends on your playstyle, I guess. Like, I don't use corpse explosion that much. I just use it to gain regen. So to me, it's, I don't know, it's not worth it, I guess. Anyway, so what I'm doing right here is I'm putting bone splinters in. And then I'm using initiate bone splinters to make the enemies vulnerable. And then after I make them vulnerable, I try critting, right? So I'll hit an enemy 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And then I try critting. Bang, 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 bang. Hit around 100k. Then I got these two passives here to make me stronger and maximize my essence. Then I got my maxed out bone spear here. You put 5 out of 5. Then you go down here, you get your paranormal bone spear. That's an increased critical strike chance. You got your hued flesh. You got blood mist. So I actually have an item that gives me an item contribution of 4. So try to find those to fix this too. You know what I mean? Whatever ability you're using, make sure you have a contribution to that as well on your items. It helps. It helps a lot. My corpse explode. See, I'm still in between these two right now. I don't know if I want to take that out and then max out this, but what I have here is I have plague corpse explosion. So 8% increased damage to enemies that are slowed, stunned, or vulnerable. We make them vulnerable all the time. Corpse explosion, corpse tundra makes them stunned, slowed. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm thinking about maxing this one out and taking that out for maximizing damage, but still debating on it. So corpse tundra, once again, I have an item that contributes 4. I only have 1 in there. Amazing, right? Plague corpse tendril. Enemies damaged by corpse tendrils are vulnerable for 3 seconds. Another vulnerable and CC. Amazing. Then I have these 3 bone passives, which really help my critical strike damage and critical strike chance. I have these 2 passives, which I've already went over with you guys. I have Bone Storm, and then I have Supreme Bone Storm. So this makes my critical chance increase by 20%. That's amazing for when I'm fighting monsters and I'm trying to get those heavy crits in, because every time I get a crit, I get movement speed and I get essence regeneration. And then I have this one. So your bone skill deals 1% increased damage for each point of essence you have above 50 upon cast. So that you want to keep your essence above as much as possible to maximize your damage. So the paragon system, this is what I have so far. I'll have a guide link in the description so you guys can just follow it here, but I'll slowly have it right here for now so you guys could follow it if you pause the video. But I would just go to the link, it's much easier. Alright, so that's that, really quick. Now, I'll show you guys how to use this build. So what we do is we group up all the monsters like that. Boom, we pop Bone Storm. Boom. Hit them. Corpse Tendril. Get them all together. And then Bone Storm. Bone Storm. Bone Storm. Bone Storm. Bone Storm. Bone Storm. Don't even need to regen. Look at that. Still don't need to regen. Bone Storm. Bone Storm. Barrier helps me. Corpse Tendril's back. Group them all together. Bone Storm. Bone Storm. Boom. Bone Spirit. Bone Spirit. Boom. Amazing, right? Amazing. 1, 2, 3. If you want to get that extra kit trans and your essence back. So when you hit with your normal basic attack 3 times, it helps you get a crit chance, right? So yeah, guys, that's the rotation, and let me know what you guys think. Leave some comments below, like, subscribe. See you guys later.